The time now is 11 p.m. Our top stories. 9 killed in Serbia shooting, 3% OPR aligned with stronger economy, and Premier of Sarawak continues with his Hari Raya visit. Those are the headlines for tonight. Hello there, you're now with me, Douglas Elliott, and this is TVS Nightline. We begin with this. A 14-year-old boy opened fire in his Belgrade classroom on Wednesday morning, shooting dead 8 fellow pupils and a security guard in a pre-planned attack and wounding 7 others. Police said the student had been arrested in the schoolyard after calling the police and confessing to the shooting. Head of Belgrade Police said the attacker had 2 guns and 2 petrol bombs and had pre-planned everything. Authorities said the father of the shooter had also been arrested. An investigation into his motives is underway. Mass shootings are very rare in Serbia, which has very strict gun laws and has issued several amnesties for owners to hand in or register their illegal guns. Now, over in Malaysia, Bank Negara Malaysia or BNM said the 3% overnight policy rate or OPR has brought back the benchmark interest rate to the pre-pandemic level and is more aligned with the strongest state of the economy. In its monetary policy statement for May 2023 released earlier today, the central bank said the Monetary Policy Committee or MPC decision to raise the OPR to 3% from 2.75% previously was due to the strengthening Malaysian economy. It added it was necessary to ensure that the OPR is at the optimum level to prevent problems that can arise from long periods of low interest rates, such as too much borrowing. It anticipated that the Malaysian economy would remain resilient and inflation would moderate but remain elevated amid firm demand. The OPR had been capped at 3% since May 2019 before it was reduced by 25 basis points to 2.75% in January of 2020 when the COVID-19 hit. Now, the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, continued with his Hari Raya visit to an open house hosted by the Ministry of International Trade, Industry and Investment or Mintrade advisor, Datuk Naruddin Majais, in his house in Petrajaya today. The visit is significant to Naruddin, who was the former Gedong Assemblyman, a constituency that is now held by Abang Johari. Our reporter Hendy Gui has the report.
Thank you, Douglas Elliott. Now, today marks the 12th day of the Hari Raya celebration, and the Premier was greeted by the host, Datuk Muhammad Naruddin Majais, the advisor of the Ministry of International Trade, Industry and Investment Mintrade, upon his arrival at 8:25 p.m. Clad in green baju Melayu, Abang Johari was accompanied by his wife, Puan Sri Datuk Amar Jumaani Tuanku Bujang. Among those present was State Secretary Datuk Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki. During the open house, the 150 guests were served with various local delicacies. Meanwhile, Datuk Naruddin also spent time greeting other guests, including media representatives. That's all I have right now. I'm Hendy Gui with videographer Awang Asmel for TVS. Now back to you in studio, Douglas Elliott.
Heat stroke is a risk for anyone exposed to an extremely hot environment, regardless of a person's level of health. Public health expert at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nurlin Ahmad, said the elderly, children and those with underlying medical conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure and obesity are the most vulnerable.
Dan biasanya suhu yang tinggi ini juga diikuti bersama dengan satu tahap dehidrasi yang teruk dalam badan kita. Badan kita tu memang tak cukup air sangatlah. Dan biasanya dia dikaitkan dengan fungsi sistem saraf sentral yang terjejas lah. Sebagai contohnya, orang tu dah start meracau, itu dah masuk tanda-tanda sistem saraf sentral dah terjejas. Dan lebih teruk lagi kalau dia dah sampai tahap sawan, densa dan sebagainya lah.
According to Dr. Norlin, heat stroke can happen quickly and immediate medical intervention must be taken to reduce body temperature to prevent the victim from experiencing more severe conditions such as brain function failure, convulsions, and also death. He said among the immediate steps that can be taken is to place a wet towel on the victim's head, underarms, thighs, and neck, in addition to moving the victim to a cooler and dim place.
Sebab di situ ada terletaknya salur darah yang besar. Jadi dia membantu untuk menyejukkan elemen darah kita itu kalau kita letak di tempat-tempat yang strategik gitulah. Tapi bagi anak-anak yang demam biasa tidak ada masalah untuk kita orang kata mandikan mereka dan sebagainya.
He also said the public should reduce physical activity in public areas, hydrate themselves, wear loose and thin clothes, and monitor the health of family members at risk. Last week, an 11-year-old boy from Kampung Prupuk, Bachok, Kelantan died at Balai Health Clinic, Bachok, due to heat stroke and dehydration. The Department of Meteorology Malaysia, Met Malaysia, has issued a warning for some areas in the peninsula and Sabah to experience level 1 hot weather alert with maximum temperatures of up to 35 and 37 degrees Celsius.
Now, with hot weather and drought conditions persisting across the nation, the Ministry of Education is taking the necessary steps to ensure that the welfare and health and safety of all involved. The ministry, in a statement today, said school pupils, teachers, and implementation group members at all education institutions under its purview are being granted special permission to wear appropriate light clothing or sports jersey to prevent any complications due to the hot weather.
Neckties, previously mandatory for pupils wearing school uniforms, are no longer required. The ministry added that the hot weather is an irregular climate occurrence and could potentially cause a harmful heat wave. In line with its closing guidelines for the closure of educational institutions during hot weather dated 28 April 2023, issued previously, school administrators are allowed to close the schools if the weather reaches the temperature warning level 2, with the highest temperature exceeding 37 degrees Celsius for 3 consecutive days. At a temperature warning level 1, outdoor activities including hiking, camping, marching, sports and games, as well as farming are not advised.
Sarawak is going to take centre stage at the prestigious London Craft Week 2023 from May 6 to 14. Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Sarawak, Dr. Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, said the showcase aims to leverage the state's international recognition as a centre of cultural excellence.
Leading the delegation will be Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, whose presence strengthens the government's commitment to promote Sarawak's cultural heritage and reputation as a leading craft destination. The Sarawakian artists include Shirley Villin, Ros binti Saleh, Senia Anak Jugi, and Helena David Kalum. The event serves as a platform to some expected 3,000 visitors to learn the history and significance of each craft, to Sarawak's unique ethnic groups, and to appreciate the incredible skill and craftsmanship that goes into every piece. Sarawak's exceptional crafts and rich cultural heritage have gained international recognition, with Kuching being awarded the title of World Craft City in 2019 by the International World Craft Council, WCC.
The ruling coalition of Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, will continue to safeguard the rights and interests of all communities in the state. Now, this is in line with the inclusive policy under the post-COVID-19 2030 plan, said Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, in his Wesak Day message today.
He said that the establishment of the Unit for Other Religions Affairs, UNIFOR, is also part of the efforts to strengthen the inclusive policy that not only aimed to provide financial assistance, but also to unite the various religious and ethnic communities. Abang Johari wishes that this year's Wesak celebration will bring happiness, prosperity and harmony to Sarawak and its population, especially the Buddhist community.
The Ministry of Public Health, Housing and Local Government will discuss the strategy to tackle rabies in the state with the Ministry of Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development. Its Minister, Dato Sri Dr. Sim Kui Han, said the strategy includes keeping the public updated on the latest information concerning rabies in Sarawak, including locations where rabid dogs are detected.
I haven't, because I assume that the mayor and the vet department are doing knows what to do. And in fact, all the city councils and the secretaries, they all have. I have asked them. To step out and to do what's necessary. And I will continue to discuss with the Minister for Agriculture, Dr. Rundi, because I think even dogs are positive. I in favor, or like during COVID-19, we tell where are the positive cases. Yesterday, I think it's BDC area, is it? BDC area, at least everybody in BDC area fully aware of. But the best awareness, of course, is doesn't matter where, everybody is aware of.
He said this to the reporters after a press conference at Borneo Convention Centre, Kuching, BCCK, on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Dr. Sim pointed out that addressing the disease needs everyone's cooperation.
It's not just the council, it's not just the vet department. Everybody really seriously had to play their role and do their part. Number one, we want to eradicate rabies. We want to get rid of rabies once and for all. But in order to eradicate rabies, first, the rabies must stop in the dogs. That means that how can we stop the rabies in the dogs? By having your dogs, having a responsibility to get your dogs vaccinated.
9 people were reported to have tested positive for rabies after being bitten by a dog in the vicinity of RH Plaza. Dr. Sim also reminded the public to get assessed at dog bite clinics via government hospitals, where vaccinations will be administered should the risk of rabies infection is deemed high.
There has been a rise in the number of visitors coming from Brunei to Limbang, especially during the months of Ramadan and Aidilfitri. Deputy Minister of Transport, Dato Hasbi Habibullah, said that this positive outcome indicates that Limbang's economic growth is returning to a promising state.
The Limbang MP also explained that the sudden surge of visitors from the neighbouring country proves that Limbang is the primary gateway for visitors to enter Sarawak.
Dalam maklumat yang saya dapati di sempadan masih ratusan kenderaan daripada negara jiran dan daripada harian tu masih ratusan yang melintasi sempadan, termasuklah kenderaan komersial dan sebagainya. Jadi alhamdulillah lah, kita bersyukur kepada Allah SWT kerana ialah kita taklah nak risau pasal tentang keadaan ini, risau takut tiada orang ramai ke ni. Tapi alhamdulillah sebenarnya masih seperti biasa lagi. Hujung bulan orang masih ramai masuk ke rumah membeli belah dan sebagainya, alhamdulillah.
He said this when met by reporters at the Hari Raya gathering organised by the head of the community and Islamic leader of the Limbang district on Wednesday. At the same time, Hasbi expressed his satisfaction with the development of the Limbang Bridge, which when completed will shorten the travel and improve the mobility of locals and visitors.
Dan sudah pastinya bermakna yang besar untuk rakyat Limbang juga, khususnya sebab nanti ini akan mendekatkan lagi perjalanan ke negara jiran dan membolehkan orang negara jiran kunjung ke Limbang pun akan datang ke Limbang dengan lebih dekat lagi dan terus ke Temburong selain daripada jalan melalui di laut itulah di Teluk Brunei. Jadi semua perkara ini alhamdulillah lah, kata orang, insya-Allah saya yakin sebab hubungan erat negara kita, kerjasama dan sebagainya, apatah lagi di bawah perjanjian perniagaan dan sebagainya antara BIMIAGA di kawasan kita ini di Brunei, Malaysia, Filipina. dan juga Filipina, Brunei dan Indonesia juga ini semua ada hubung kait dengan pergerakan mobiliti penduduk, sama ada untuk tujuan pelancongan ataupun untuk perniagaan dan sebagainya untuk membeli belah.
The issue pertaining to the shortage of passport supply in Limbang will be forwarded to the Malaysian Immigration Department immediately. Limbang Member of Parliament Dato' Hasbi Habibullah said the issue of blue passport shortages needs to be addressed immediately to facilitate the authorization of entry and exit into the country.
The reopening of the borders by Brunei Darussalam has led to an increase of travel movements at the entry and exit points.
Pertama sekali saya akan berhubung dengan immigration nanti insya-Allah. Apakah kenapa tapi ini saya rasa kalau ke shortage untuk pasport biru ni bukan pertama kali sebab oleh pergerakan rakyat kita yang banyak keluar masuk, terutamanya di kawasan utara ini yang dilintasi, sebab pasport biru itu adalah pasport terhad untuk melintasi negara Brunei Darussalam. Jadi maklum kita di utara ini, Miri, Sabah, Lawas, Limbang ini memang katanya yang melintasi ini ribuan. Jadi pasport pun cepat habis, muka surat cepat habis. Jadi tak heranlah kalau sini pun mungkin. Jadi insya-Allah saya akan berhubungan dengan pihak Kementerian Dalam Negeri dan khususnya Jabatan Immigration.
The issue of the shortage of passport supply was raised by the public since Aidilfitri school holiday and hinders commercial activities.
We'll be taking a short break, but coming up right after, justice for Bella. Siti Bainun is now sentenced to 22 years in jail, and driving license can now be renewed for up to 10 years. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. The Sessions Court today sentenced Rumah Bonda founder Siti Bainun Ahmad Razali to a total of 22 years in prison after finding her guilty of neglect and abuse of a teenage girl with Down syndrome, also known as Bella. Judge Isra Lizam Sanusi sentenced her to 10 years in prison for defense of neglect and another 12 years in prison for the second charge of abuse.
However, the court ordered her to serve the sentences concurrently from today, meaning she will be serving only 12 years in jail. The court also ordered the woman to sign a 5-year good behavior bond with a local as a guarantor and a surety of 5,000 ringgit. Siti Bainun was also ordered to carry out 200 hours of community service to be completed within 6 months of serving her time in jail. According to the charges, Siti Bainun was alleged to have neglected and abused a 13-year-old Down syndrome girl, causing the victim to suffer physical and emotional injuries in a condominium unit in Wangsa Maju between February and June 2021. The charge, framed under Section 31, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Child Act 2001, provides imprisonment for up to 20 years or a fine of 50,000 ringgit or both upon conviction.
And good news, Malaysian drivers can now renew their driving license for up to 10 years as compared to the current 5-year limit, effective Monday, May 8th. Now, Transport Minister Antony Loke said the decade-long validity can only be renewed at Road Transport Department or GPJ offices or counters. This applies to Malaysian drivers free from any blacklist by the GPJ or the Royal Malaysia Police, as well as free from any suspension due to a sentence or court order. The announcement was among the 2 initiatives announced today to make things easier for Malaysian driving license holders.
Melalui inisiatif ini, orang ramai boleh memperbaharui lesen memandu masing-masing untuk tempoh maksima sehingga 10 tahun. Inisiatif ini hanyalah untuk warga negara Malaysia sahaja dan tidak terpakai kepada warga negara asing atau mana-mana pemegang pas permit jangka masa panjang ataupun kad MyCas yang terikat dengan tempoh sah laku pasport individu terbabit.
Additionally, the renewal fee will incur a special rate of only 270 ringgit. Meanwhile, Malaysian drivers whose driving licenses had expired and had gone beyond the valid time period from January 2018 onwards would be given special exemption to renew their license without having to resit for the test. Currently, those with expired driving licenses for more than 3 years would need to retake their driving test. However, the existing rules will be enforced again come January 1st, 2024, as the special permission is only until December 31st, 2023. The initiative, Locke said, could save up to 1,000 ringgit for license holders, as they would not have to spend money to retake classes and driving tests.
The Health Ministry MOH is smiling administering the Tdap or the tetanus, diphtheria and acellular pertussis vaccine to pregnant women as an effort to prevent the spread of pertussis or whooping cough. Its Minister, Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, said the majority of pertussis cases in the country are among babies under the age of 5 months who have not reached the optimal level of immunity. And the vaccine aims to protect babies from birth until they completed the 6-dose primary series under the National Immunization Program.
Dr. Zaliha said that vaccination is an effective preventative method and that in Malaysia, babies are given the pertussis vaccine at the ages of 2 months, 3 months, 5 months and 18 months. She said that babies under the age of 12 months had the highest number of cases at 67, followed by children between the ages of 1 and 10 with 47 cases. According to Dr. Zaliha, as of April 28th, 132 pertussis or whooping cough cases and 2 fatalities had been recorded in the country, a decrease of 73.3% compared to 495 cases reported on April 28th, 2019. She noted that the number of pertussis cases in Malaysia dropped sharply in 2020 and 2021 when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and the movement control order came into effect. Pertussis is a vaccine-preventable disease which is found in the mouth, nose and throat of an infected person. The bacteria spreads through respiratory droplets produced during coughing and sneezing and can infect people of all ages. The typical symptom of pertussis is a cough that lasts for 1 to 2 weeks and can last up to 2 months. Those who are infected will usually experience a prolonged cough for 1 to 2 weeks, which can last up to 2 months.
In foreign updates, German and Italian police arrested more than 100 people on Wednesday in a crackdown on the Italian 'Ndrangheta organized crime group. Police stated that among those arrested were 4 people in Bavaria, 15 in North Rhine-Westphalia, and 10 in the southwestern German state of Rhineland-Palatinate, and seized potential evidence at dozens of locations of Munich car wash, including homes and other offices.
The crackdown was part of a coordinated effort by investigators in multiple countries, namely Germany, Belgium, France, Italy, Portugal and Spain. As state police in Bavaria said, the arrests were the result of more than 3 years of an investigation dubbed Operation Eureka.
Also die Ermittlungen in Italien laufen schon seit sehr vielen Jahren. Hier in Bayern ermitteln wir seit ungefähr 2 Jahren gegen diese Gruppierung. Und warum es heute zu dem Einsatz kam, ist eigentlich ganz einfach. Das legen die italienischen Behörden fest, wann dieser große Schlag ist. Das ist ein kleiner Teil hier in München, gegen der bei dieser italienischen Operation Eureka eine Rolle gespielt hat. Aber es geht hier um mehr als 100 Haftbefehle. Es geht um sicherlich viele tausend Polizisten, die im Einsatz heute in ganz Europa sind.
The suspects are accused of money laundering, criminal tax evasion, fraud and smuggling of drugs, mafia-type criminal association, possession and trafficking of weapons.
Ja, man verdient im internationalen Kokainhandel, im Waffenhandel, im Waffenschmuggel sehr viel Geld. Das ist sehr schmutziges Geld und das muss irgendwie, wenn man es verwenden will, wieder in den Geldkreislauf kommen. Und das funktioniert mit solchen kleinen Geschäften, das funktioniert aber auch mit Restaurants oder ähnlichen Lokalitäten. Und hier haben wir einfach so eine Gelegenheit gehabt, wo das Geld gewaschen wurde.
The 'Ndrangheta has its roots in the southern region of Calabria, the toe of Italy's boot, and has surpassed Cosa Nostra to become the most powerful mafia group in the country and one of the largest criminal networks in the world.
Rehearsals took place in the dark early hours of Wednesday in London in preparation for King Charles' coronation this Saturday. King Charles will be crowned at Westminster Abbey in a ceremony full of pomp, pageantry and solemn religious significance after he became the monarch of the United Kingdom and 14 other realms.
The coronation ceremony will begin at 10 a.m. following a procession from Buckingham Palace. A much larger procession will depart the Abbey, made up of armed forces from Britain and across the Commonwealth. The King and Queen will travel in Gold State coach, which was commissioned in 1760. Charles will take an oath to uphold the law and the Church of England. Sitting on the historic coronation chair, known as St. Edward's Chair, and containing the Stone of Destiny, he will be anointed by the Archbishop of Canterbury, the spiritual leader of the worldwide Anglican Communion, with the holy oil consecrated in Jerusalem. It is the center point of the ceremony and signals the conferment of God's grace on the sovereign. Charles will also be presented with various hugely ornate golden orbs, scepters, swords, and a ring, which all form a part of the crown jewels and variously symbolize the monarch's power, authority, and duties, and the power of God. The public will be invited to swear allegiance to the monarch and to his heirs and successors. There will be 2,200 guests inside Westminster's Abbey, far fewer than the 8,000 in attendance for Queen Elizabeth's coronation in 1953. There will also be other foreign royals, officials, and head of states, with U.S. First Lady Jill Biden representing the United States and China's Vice President Han Zheng expected to attend on behalf of Beijing.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news update, both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime, head to our website tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching.